We are back. We are back. We are back. Finally, after that short little break that I'm sure we all needed, we are back with the Haves and the Have Nots. This is season 5, episode 23. And this episode was titled The Road to Hell. And, you know, Veronica is at the front of the line for sure. But before we even get into that, if this is your first time on my channel, please click that subscribe button. I promise you won't be disappointed. Go ahead, join the family. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I love all you guys' support, okay? Okay, now, the reason why we're here, okay? Haves and the have-nots. Now, it usually starts off where it left off, okay? But it didn't on this episode, which I didn't appreciate that because we all know that Erica blew up in this car and we're like waiting to see what happened. And we only saw like 30 seconds of that in this episode. But let me get to that, okay? So it starts off with Melissa because, you know, she believes she can fly. So she flew off the building and straight into the concrete right in front of Hannah's house, right in front of Veronica, right in front of Hannah, and right in front of the little shrink guy that was coming to evaluate her. Now, mind y'all, okay? This is a very like sad moment. Like she has gone from the top of the building to the concrete floor, yet and still the doctor, the shrink or whatever, goes over there to check her pulse. Like really? Like did you really think she was still breathing or had a pulse? Like if she did, I'd be like, Tyler Perry, you are playing games, okay? Nobody can survive that. Like if she would have survived that, she's a freaking cat, okay? She got 9 lives. But at this point, Hannah is shocked just like we are. Her mouth is dropped. She is on the phone calling 911. And Veronica is like, I can't believe she did it. I can't believe she really did it. Well, girl, yeah, you kept pushing her. And she already had one attempt, but whatever. She's like, I can't believe she did it. Oh my gosh. This dumb bee. And I'm like, whoa, what? Like, no sympathy? Like, goodness, could you have had a moment of silence for Melissa? Okay, so Hannah, she's on the phone, but she's like, wait, what did you say? So Veronica is like, you heard me. Hannah's like, you are sick. I can't even deal with this right now. And then so Veronica says, oh, please, Miss Hannah, pray for me. Miss Hannah, please pray for me. You know, she gets like her little like slave voice and be trying to like get under Hannah's skin, and she did a great job in this scene because anybody else would have like smacked her. Like they would have been fighting all over the street right by the body. But anyways, so they start arguing back and forth. Basically Veronica blames Hannah. Veronica was like, you should have let me take that girl. If you would have let me take her, she wouldn't have went up to the top of the building and jumped off the building. All of this is your fault, okay? That is my grandbaby, okay, that may be dead. And I'm like, she did not just throw that shade there. That's why Hannah was like, Lord, please come by here, please. Okay, because mind you, she is referencing to Hannah's grandchild that was killed in the shootout by a bullet, but yet she's saying like, oh, well, you already had your little time with your grandchild died, but this one is mine. And it's like, girl, please, like y'all not even close like that, like stay off that subject, okay? So she's like, you should have let me take her. And I'm thinking, Melissa is a grown woman, okay? There's no way that Hannah could have made her go with you. Melissa was never gonna go with you. And so Hannah's like, no, you told me about her. You were the one pushing this girl in this direction. It's your fault. And then so Veronica's like, so you would believe some suicidal chick over me? Girl, I would believe like an animal over you, okay? Because you can't trust Veronica. You just can't. So then Veronica tells her, no, Hannah tells her that she needs to go to hell. So Veronica was like, oh, okay, well, it's cool. I feel like I'll be very comfortable there. And Hannah's like, yeah, I'm sure you will because there's already a spot reserved for you, okay? You dang right about that. And of course, at this point, Hannah is cussing and everything because Veronica is really like testing her. Like she's trying her patience. So then Veronica says, oh, so we got a cussing Christian. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably a large number of them. Like, she's still human, okay? And you are being so disrespectful in this moment. And then you have the nerve to bring up her grandson. Like, most people, it'd probably be some cuss words that'll not even slip. It's going to be done purposely. So at that point, Hannah wanted to completely go in on Veronica. Like, she wanted to call her every name in the book, but she didn't want to lose her religion, so she just held it together. So Hannah's on the phone with the ambulance, like rushing them to get there. Veronica is like, I don't know why. Like, you see, she dead. And so Hannah is like, please, could you show a little bit of respect? So Veronica is like, well, on second thought, maybe the ambulance should hurry up because she's dead, but maybe there's a chance for my grandchild to still live. Oh, wait, well, she's only 3 months pregnant, so probably not. And I'm like, finally, we get answers as to how far along Melissa was. Now, okay, I got 2 kids. When I was 3 months pregnant, you could tell I was 3 months pregnant, okay? Like I said, Melissa has never looked 5 minutes pregnant. Like, they could have gave her a little push. They could have said, you need to, like, eat some chips or some fries or some pop or, like, drink a beer before you record this scene. Because she looked nowhere near pregnant. But I guess now we'll never know. But anyways, so Veronica, once again, is blaming everything on Hannah. She told her plan was working until Hannah came and, like, tried to jack everything up. Hannah tells her to get away from her, and Veronica's like, I'm gonna get you. Now, we know, coming from Veronica, like, she schemes, so she, like, really will get Hannah. So Hannah better watch her back. Okay, so at this point, Veronica won't leave until the ambulance comes because she needs to make sure, like there's, like, no chance for her grandchild to still survive, because if so, then it's, like, perfect for her. She's gonna take care of the kid. Okay, so Veronica then asks Hannah, like, why was Melissa at your house anyway? Oh, was she here with Vinnie? Hannah just completely ignores her, like, girl, bye, I'm done with you for today. Okay, so then the paramedics show up. They rush to Melissa's side. They're checking for a pulse. They said, I'm sorry, she's not gonna make it. And so Hannah looks sad, and Veronica is like, you sorry for what? And then they're like, she's not going to make it. And she's like, okay, so what about the baby? And then she told them that Melissa was 3 months along, and the other paramedic was like, I'm sorry, the baby didn't make it either. Are you the next of kin? And then so Veronica is super rude. She's like, no, I don't know that girl. I don't know that chick. And then walks away. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, you are going, like, right by the devil's, like, you're going to be his right-hand man, okay, with gasoline draws on, and you are going to love it every second of it. Like, she is evil, okay? Evil. Okay, so next thing you know, we see Hannah walks inside of her house because she is done with Veronica at this point. And Veronica calls Jeffrey to leave a voicemail. Was like, you need to hurry up and call me back, because if you don't call me back, I'm going to come find you anyway. Okay, she about to give him the news about his baby. Now, how do y'all think Jeffrey's going to react to this? Because he didn't have an attachment to Melissa or the baby, but he felt sorry for Melissa the first time she, like, tried to kill herself. He tried to apologize to her and everything. Now, the fact that, like, yes, he didn't, like, want to have a baby with her, and he knows that he was forced into this situation, this was still, like, his child. Like, he still planted the seed. So, yeah, I wonder if Jeffrey's going to have any type of reaction to this whatsoever, or if he'll grieve in some type of way. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Okay, so then we have Derek. Derek coincidentally walks up in front of Hannah's building, and Veronica's outside. So she's like, what are you doing here? And so at this point, Derek is like, oh, well, I'm here to, like, do some work on this building. Now, mind you, earlier, Veronica was giving Hannah a hard time about, like, how can she afford this house? Like, her daughter Candace must have been scheming and got this house for her. But Hannah wouldn't answer her. She went inside. So now Derek comes up and he tells her, like, yeah, I do work on this building. You know, Catherine owns this building. So at that point, Veronica is able to put 2 and 2 together. Like, okay, Catherine must have gave the house to Hannah. Okay, so Derek asked Veronica, like, what happened there. Veronica says some idiot jumped off the building. I'm like, girl, oh Jesus, okay. Hannah is watching all this out the window because at the end of the day, that's Hannah's boo, okay, and she got to make sure like Veronica is not trying to come in and like invade her territory. So whatever the case, Veronica ends up getting in her car, drives away. Derek tried to apologize for his attitude with her lately. But she gets in the car, drives away. Okay, so then Hannah comes outside. At this point, she's telling Derek what had just happened there. She gets a little emotional and kind of wants to cry on his shoulder, but Derek got a job to do, okay? He has some AC units to fix, and if the weather is anything like it is right now, he needs to hurry up because these people is burning up, okay? So at this point, he's like, maybe I just shouldn't go. I should be here for you. She's like, no, okay? A man that don't work, don't eat, okay? Go take care of your business. Okay, so then we have Justin, okay? Justin, the jealous, self-proclaimed boyfriend because Jeffrey don't claim him, but whatever. So Justin is sitting on the hotel bed. Jeffrey is in the restroom because he don't want to deal with Justin. And Jeffrey's phone starts ringing, and Justin like yells out to Jeffrey like, "Oh, here goes this bee calling again. My crazy mother-in-law is calling you." And I'm like, Justin, wait, hold up. Did you just refer to Veronica as your mother-in-law? Like, you are really messed up in the head. Like, you really believe that, like, y'all together, like, y'all gonna get married. Like, watch, y'all. By the end of this season, Justin, he is gonna come up with a ring, okay? And he's gonna make Jeffrey marry him, okay? And it's literally gonna be till death do us part. So, Jeffrey comes out of the restroom. He sees the call coming in, but he totally ignores it. So, at this point, they're in the hotel room. They kind of just like talk back and forth about their relationship or lack thereof a relationship. And Justin tries to like examine Jeffrey, and he's like, you know what? I found out you love me, okay? Because I couldn't still keep doing this crazy stuff and then you still let me in and you still deal with me. I already know that you love me. Actually, I think that you like the drama. Now, a part of me was like, does Jeffrey like the drama, or is this just a learned behavior? He's seen his dad put up with this drama his whole life. So to him, that's like a regular form of love. And he's thinking in his mind, Justin can be fixed. But he can't be fixed, just like Veronica is not fixed. It will become a fatal situation, just like Erica and David and Veronica. Whatever. So then Justin also brings up the fact that like, oh, Jeffrey, you're probably trying to just get back at me. I know that guy that was in here. Remember, I had my little fling with him at the jail, so you tried to hook up with him. Jeffrey was like, I don't even remember all of that. I really don't, which he doesn't. But Justin is jealous at this point, and he's making up all this stuff in his head. So whatever, Justin has to go to work, and he's like, look, I'm telling you, don't have nobody else up in here. I'm telling you this for your own good. Jeffrey is like, boy, bye, okay? And he is relieved that Justin has to go to work. Okay, so same hotel. We have Candace. Candace is in her hotel room. She is pacing back and forth, okay? Last episode, we already seen RK help Candace cover up Oscar's murder, okay? So at this point, she has some other things working with RK as far as getting some muscle to go and kind of like scare her mama so her mama can give her this money out of Hannah and Vinnie's account. Okay, so Candace is in her hotel room. RK is knocking on the door, and he walks in with this big muscle dude named Malik, okay? Now, when Malik walked in, he said, hey, Candy Cane, what's up? So him saying Candy Cane kind of freaked me out for a second because it totally reminded me of war. I was like, if I was Candace, could nobody else call me Candy Cane because I'm traumatized from war, okay? So clearly, like, he is like the type of guy that probably hung out in like war's crew or like knew of war, and he basically took care of business and handled people just the way war used to for Candace. So, at this point, Candace tells him, like, look, I got a situation I need you to handle, except it's a little touchy because the person I need you to handle, I'm trying to get my money back, okay? It's a large sum of money, and the person I need you to handle is my mother. He's like, hold on, like, I'm not about to be on no old lady like that, okay? Like, the hood love her, they respect her, like, they not gonna come and get at me because I didn't got at your mama. So she was like, no, 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 no. Like, I don't want you to hurt her. I just want you to, like, scare her a little bit, enough to give me the money, but I don't want you to hurt her. So he's like, okay, cool. Well, what about your brother? She's like, don't trip. I'll make sure my brother's not there so it won't be a problem, and you'll be able to go in, scare her enough to give me the money, and then it's all good. Okay. So he's like, well, I guess if you paying, then it is what it is. So next thing you know, he says, I'm in. And then Candace, right on time, gets a call on her cell from Vinnie. Vinnie is coincidentally in the same hotel, and he's coming to see her, and he asks for her room number. So she gives him the room number, and she tells RK and Malik they gotta skedaddle, okay? So they get out of there. Next thing you know, Vinnie comes knocking on the door. Or he comes into the room. So she lets Benny inside, and Benny always calls himself coming to confront Candace about something. So he comes and confronts her about taking the money from Jim and like accusing her of blackmailing him again. And she's like, I didn't blackmail him again. And yes, I did take the money from him. And like, but Benny wants an explanation for everything. Basically, it's a redundant conversation that they've had before, like before this like mid-season break. He's disappointed in her. She's scheming again. She's going to offer him some money, $1 million. He thinks about it, considers it. She's like, please, you can start your life over. He's like, how is this guaranteed? Okay, because you know what happened with the houses in the tow yard, yada, 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 whatever. And like, so at this point, the end of the conversation, what's her name? Candace tries to convince Benny to convince Hannah to give them the money. This way, she don't have to go through with her little crazy plan with Malik. But Benny refuses, and Candace is like, okay, cool. Well, I'll just take matters into my own hands. So Benny leaves out. Okay, so at this point, while Benny is leaving out of the room, Candace gets on her phone, hurries, she calls Gia, because she knows Gia is downstairs in the bar. She gives a description of what Benny looks like, and she tells Gia, when he gets off the elevator, you need to distract him. She says, make sure he stays in this hotel. Okay, so perfect. Gia does as she's told. So when Benny gets off the elevator, Gia accidentally bumps into him, okay, and like kind of tries to like make a scene, and it's like, oh my gosh, you should have watched where you was going, yada yada yada. He's apologetic, like, I'm so sorry. And then she goes from like having an attitude to kind of like low-key flirting with him, and he could tell, like, you could tell like he was interested in her. So then he asked her like to take her out on a date, and she's like, well, actually, like, do you want to go for a drink at the bar? Like, I'll pay for it. Cool. So they decide to go over to the bar. So she has successfully gotten him to stay in the hotel. So now we see Mitch. So Mitch is at the hospital. Now he is checking on his Uncle Vinnie, okay? Uncle Vinnie is the one that was like, was he shot or was he cut? Yes, he was cut by Wyatt, okay? His neck was sliced. So he's not looking good, but he's talking, so he's at least in decent condition. So this is the scene that we have all been waiting for, because Uncle Vinnie is alive and well, and he finally confirms to Mitch that, no, it was not Benny that did this to me. It was this like clean-cut boy that be coming into the bar, okay? In other words, like, it was this like preppy type like white guy, not like your friend Benny at all. So he's like, oh, wow, dang. Ugh, okay. Well, that's good to know. So then he's like, well, I'll tell the family. And Uncle Vinnie is like, no, look, I know you ain't in this family business, but I need you to do this for me. I need you to find him for me, okay? I need you to take care of this. So Mitch is hesitant, but he's like, okay, so look, it's family. Where do I start? So he tells him to look at the ATM machine records in the bar. Like, the records are connected to like some system that's behind the bar, and he can pull that information, and he wants Mitch to bring that information back to him. Problem is, I don't know that he'll be alive when he brings that information back, so we shall see. Whatever. Okay, so then Mitch walks out into the hallway. He has to call his friend Vinnie because he done burned all types of bridges. Like, but at the end of the day, family is family, and the family come before friends. So he was like ready and willing to turn on Vinnie. But he apologizes to Vinnie on the phone, like, look, you're in the clear. My uncle already told me what happened. I'm so sorry. Vinnie is like, it's all good. So Mitch tells him they need to talk. They need to talk in person. But he has an errand to run, and then he'll come to the Artesian Hotel where Vinnie is. Okay. So then it goes back to Vinnie. So Vinnie goes back to the bar to continue to flirt with Gia, okay? So they keep flirting. He's like getting to know her. She's like making up places where she's from. And like it's like a good time to like get his mind off of like all the craziness that's going on in his life. Okay, so at some point he attempts to get up and leave, like he has somewhere to go, although Mitch is coming to meet him at the hotel, but whatever. So she tries to convince him not to leave, so she like turns up the heat a little bit more as far as flirting, and they continue with more small talk. While this is happening, Candace actually calls RK at the bar and confirms that Gia is actually talking to Vinnie, and she tells RK to get Vinnie drunk. Don't put anything in his drink, but get him drunk so that he can stay. And if he does leave, call her immediately and let her know, because she's trying to like play out this plan with her mother and Malik. Okay, so after she gets off the phone with RK, Candace calls Malik and tells him that he can do it now as far as scaring Hannah straight. And then she also reminds him, like, do not hurt my mother, though, which is a very weird dynamic because there's so many situations where Candace could like physically hurt Hannah, but she still protects her in a sense. Or even like seasons ago where she like had what's her name, Erica, rest in peace. She had Erica like just drop off a card to Vinnie, but really it was for like Vinnie and her mother. So she still be like low-key looking out for Hannah. So I don't know. I hope their relationship does improve at some point, because Hannah was low-key looking out for Candace this episode, which was very strange to me, but whatever. Okay, so then we are at the Cryer residence, or should I say Catherine's residence, okay? Jim, he didn't just overstayed his welcome. So Jim confronts Catherine about turning Wyatt into the police, and Catherine was like, yeah, I did it, okay? Like, it's the same redundant conversation, except for this time, like, she wasn't just talking about doing it, she actually did it. And so Jim is like, I'm not about to let my son sit up in jail. Do you know what happened to him the last time he was in jail? Like, he was raped. Like, that's not happening. That's not for him. Like, our son has a like drug problem. That's not where he belongs. And Catherine was like, you know what? I totally agree, but he has to be responsible for his actions. And since he doesn't want to go and get help somewhere else in a facility, then maybe jail will scare him enough to want to get his life together. He's going to have to pay for his actions. Hannah's son was not going to pay for something that he didn't do. You were just going to let Hannah's son go down for this no matter what. And so Jim is like, yeah, because I'm going to do what I can to protect my son. So right on cue, Hannah walks into the room and she's like, you know what? I thought, I'm glad that I heard you say that because I already knew it. And so this is the second time that Jim has cared nothing about Hannah's son and will try to cover up anything for his son. Okay, so at this point, Jim is like, why don't you just let yourself in, Hannah? And Hannah was like, oh, well, I already did, as you can see. So I'm like, snap, snap. Hannah got a little attitude. So she's like, but I need to talk to both of y'all anyway. And so Jim says, no, now is not a good time. Catherine, of course, sticking up for her friend. She's like, no, it's a good time. What do you need? Okay, so Hannah then confronts Jim and was like, what did you tell my son in jail? Okay, this is Mama Bear here. And so Jim is like, why? Like, what, did he tell you something? She's like, no, actually, he won't tell me anything. So Catherine is like, what? You went to go see her son in jail? And like, she's totally out of the loop. So Hannah is like, yeah, he did go see him. Is this about that money? And so Jim is like, why? Like, what money? Why? And so Catherine is like, wait, you told Vinnie about the money that her words, not mine, that whore, speaking of Candace, stole from you. And at this point, Mama Bear jumps in, Hannah out of nowhere, and was like, you need to watch your words because that's my daughter that you're speaking of. And so Catherine was like, oh, my bad. Okay, she did kind of like have a whole affair with my husband. Like, she didn't say that, but that's what she was thinking. But I'm like, Hannah, sometimes you stand up for Candace, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you act like she's not even your daughter. I mean, I know the whole rule of like, I can talk about my family, but you can't talk about my family. But girl, you just be confusing us all, okay? Sometimes it's like you disown the girl. So I don't know why you're shocked that Catherine's talking about her, because she think you don't even like her. But whatever, okay. So Jim tells Catherine to shut up, and then he asks Hannah, like, why? What about this money? And so Hannah says, did Candace blackmail you again? And so Jim says, no, she didn't. Okay, so Hannah's like, well, what did she do then? And then Jim is like, I don't have to explain myself to the maid. And I was like, hold up, pause, skirt. Did he just basically say, like, I don't have to speak to the help? I don't owe the help any type of explanation? I'm like, see, Hannah, this is why, yeah, I got a little, like, lint flying around. This is why you don't need to be working for them, okay? Because they already look at you as being beneath them. Like, girl, chill out, okay? So Hannah was like, well, if you want your money, then you might want to start talking. So Jim is like, get out of my house. And I'm like, hold up, pause again. Like, Jim, this is not your house. Like, you just got too comfortable. It's only been like a day or two. This is Catherine's house, okay? You don't have a home, okay? You stay in the hotel. Whatever. So Hannah is like, not a problem. That's cool. You don't have a reason to talk to me? Well, I'm about to walk out of this house with 8 million reasons of my own and in my own pocket. And then so Jim is like, what are you talking about? And Hannah said, oh, I got your money in my account. He said, no, you're lying because your daughter transferred that money to her brother's account, your son's account. And she said, it's a joint account. Checkmate, boom. Okay, so then Hannah is like, so tell me how Candace got this money from you. So at this point, I'm thinking that Hannah is trying to like figure out Candace's schemes, maybe so she can stop future schemes. I'm not fully sure, but she wants all the details, okay? So at this point, Jim went ahead and explained it to Hannah, okay? So then all of a sudden insults start getting thrown back and forth because Jim has a smart mouth, so it always starts with him. But basically, like, she starts talking about his drugged out son, and then Jim starts talking about her escort daughter and like how she turns like tricks and stuff, and basically insinuated that she get it from her mama. So then the insults are becoming like real personal, okay? So then Hannah tells Catherine, like, she don't, like, look, girl, like, I don't know if I can continue to work for you, okay? Not with him here. And Catherine should have been like, girl, he don't live here, okay? He gonna be out in a minute, okay? Like, I apologize, okay? But she didn't do that, okay? So then Hannah tells Catherine, like, she will get up in the morning and go to the bank and she will get her the money, okay? Even Jim confirmed the exact amount that was missing down to the cent, and that was the amount that was in Vinnie and Hannah's account. Okay, so at this point, Hannah leaves out and Catherine leaves right behind her because she don't want to deal with Jim's foolishness anymore. Okay, so then we have the DA, okay? The DA is knows that Wyatt is down to the jail, and look, Wyatt, he got a whole new, like, pending case now because his mother has turned him in for attempted murder of Malone. Okay, but the DA is still trying to get into Wyatt's ear because remember, Wyatt said that he would testify against his parents for like all the stuff that happened like 2 seasons ago. Okay, and he wanted to put all of them in jail. Okay, so at this point, Wyatt is like, okay, cool. So when can you get me out of here? The DA is like, I'm gonna need a video like testimony from you since you're in jail. I can only get you immunity for like that one charge, like the hit and run and all that. But I can't get you immunity for this new situation, this attempted murder. Like, you in here for serious charges. So I don't know what to tell you. And so Wyatt is like, oh, yeah, it's like that? Oh, okay. Well, then I won't testify at all. And you don't want to give me immunity? I won't do it. So Wyatt I think he was just trying to, like, call the DA's bluff. But the DA wasn't bluffing. He was like, okay, well, I guess you'll just sit in here then. So the DA knows that, like, Wyatt, he's going to start to break and crack before the DA will have to. So Wyatt's just not that smart, but, you know, this is why he always ends up in bad situations. Okay, so then finally getting back to where we left off at David's house, we have a bunch of firefighters there, fire trucks, they are spraying the car as they move past Erica's brand new car. Yeah, Erica was there, okay? She was there. She didn't look the same though, okay? She was like, well done, fried, extra crispy. Like, she was like a charcoal skeleton. Like, you could literally see the facial expression and the way her head was lifted up from like when she started like burning alive, basically. Like, it was all bad. Like, yeah, like there was no way she would have survived that. So they showed us her body a couple of times to confirm to any of the naysayers out there, she is dead. There's no way she's coming back. So at this point, then the camera goes over to David. The firefighters realize that he's laying in the grass and he still has a pulse. Now, his back is all bloody. His shirt is cut up. I'm sure he got some burns like from the fire. But at this point, they're like, we can save him. So they put him on a stretcher, put him in the ambulance, and they are ready to wheel him off because they are going to save his life. And Veronica is thinking this man is dead and he's not, and this is about to be war. So we shall see what happens to David's little broken heart. Whatever. Okay, so yeah, let me know what y'all think of this week's episode. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, there were some scenes that went on like longer than they needed to, but that's Tyler Perry land for you. But it was still a good show. So anyways, y'all, let me know y'all thoughts below. What do y'all think is going to happen this season? How did y'all like the episode? Did you expect anything different? Did it give you everything you wanted? Please write all that below. If you're this far in the video and you're not a subscriber, you may as well click that button. And I will see you guys on the next video.